Alright, now you're really cruising along. You've learned how everything in an application is somehow expressed in code. You've visually identified files, classes, methods, and syntax. And you've taken apart a method's signature piece by piece to discover what it did. Now you're ready to go one level deeper in your investigation. Java is just a programming language. It is built to handle data in cool and useful ways. But in order to use it wisely, you have to understand what types of data it's built to manage. Data is really the currency of an application. When you select something in a mobile app, you want to be given the right data. You don't want to ask for someone's email and get their phone number instead. You don't want to call someone and be routed to someone else. How you manage data is critical to how well your application performs. Think of it as data on demand. Can you accurately deliver the right data at the right time whenever someone uses your application? So let's start by identifying some of the common data types in Java and how they are defined in code. I've created a class here called myInfo. Notice the Pascal case with capital M and capital I. We will use Pascal case whenever we define a class. The class is contained within these two braces. So right now, all my class is just a collection of attributes. Inside my class, I've got 5 attributes, and so far, 0 methods. But that will change soon. Let's take a look at my attributes. The leftmost word is the data type of the attribute. These are 5 common types of data that you'll see used quite often. There's an int, which is basically a number, a string, which can be any string of letters and numbers, what we might call alphanumerics. There's also a boolean. This can only have 2 possible values, true or false. And then comes a char. It's used for whenever you need a single character, in this case, my middle initial, J. And finally, a float. This is for a decimal value, like my height in meters. You'll notice also that there's an F at the end, which signifies that we have a float, as opposed to some other type of number. So now you see that there are data types, followed by some kind of name that we're giving them, and then the equals sign, which actually assigns the value, and then the actual value. For a float, 1.87f. For my middle initial, we have J. My boolean for isMale is true. My name is Adam, and my age is 33. Now, one other thing about all of these names that we've given here. These are variables. We have basically said that we are creating an int type variable, and it's going to be my age. Then, with the equals sign, we are assigning the number 33. So wherever we see my age anywhere else in this class, it's going to be 33 unless we change it. So let's update this information for a few months from now after my birthday. I'm going to create a method here, and I'm going to use a different accessibility keyword called private, because I don't necessarily want everyone to be able to access this method and change my age at random. Private, I'm not going to return anything. I'm going to simply leave it as void because I'm going to be updating data that's already defined somewhere else. And I'm going to title this method update my info. Notice the camel casing on the method name. We know it's going to be the method name again because it's followed by the parentheses in this method signature. So update my info. What am I missing? I need an opening and a closing brace to signify that this is going to be a single block of code, a single method in my class myInfo. Now I have a method signature, but it's pretty empty. There's no code to it. Let's see if we can update some information from the attributes above. If I want to update my age, let's say my birthday just occurred and my age has changed. Notice how as I type my age, it actually changes colors. That's because Android Studio, the environment that we're going to code in, it is the best environment available to build Android applications. And it's very helpful in this case. It says, hey, that variable that you were using before, my age, well, you never referenced it again, but now you have, so now it's active. So let's say I wanted to update my age, and I just had a birthday, so now I'm 34. That's it. That's all I have to do. A single statement. The semicolon represents that it's the end of that statement. What I've done is I've taken the variable my age and I've reassigned it to 34. Notice that it says my age equals 33 here, my age equals 34 here. Well, which is it? The equal sign, again, is not equivalency. It's not saying, it's not testing for is my age actually equal to 34. It's assigning it. So I'm basically overwriting the value up here. If I incorrectly overwrite it, let's say someone mistypes it and suddenly I'm 43. Now I'm 43. There's nothing I can do about that except for reassigning it as 34. Let's say we wanted to update my name. Notice the colors change both below and above. And let's say we wanted my full name, not just my first name. Again, it's one statement ending with a semicolon. My name is now updated to signify that it is my first and last name together as part of that single string. Now, again, if you're a good detective, you're noticing, because we're starting to look at color and pay attention to how the environment is giving us feedback using color, you might notice that some of these numbers are blue. Then we also have true, which is orange, much like all of these data types here, but string is not. String is this kind of pearly white. So what's going on there? I want you to keep thinking about that question, because in the next chapter, you're going to start to understand why there's a reason to differentiate between these different types of data and their different values. But for now, you can be confident that you've been exposed to several of the most common data types that you will want to manage as a Java and Android developer. However, in order to really manage them well, you need to know about one more thing, and that's memory. Memory management plays a pivotal role in mobile application development. So I'm going to pass the baton to my colleague and expert mobile developer, Adam Schwemm, so he can give you some insight into how a professional perceives and effectively uses computer memory. You're just getting started, and you've come so far. Let's see what you can learn next.